What's up, everyone? It's Anna, also known as that Star Wars girl, and today's video is not going to be lighthearted at all. I want to make that very, very clear. Now, last night I was on the High Council, and it was me, Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, Ethan Van Skyber from Comic Artist Pro Secrets, and then Odin from Odin's Movie Blog. And I admit I am kind of out of the loop when it comes to a lot of things. Half the time when I read comments that have, modern terms, if you will, I have to go in Urban Dictionary them because I don't know what the heck people are talking about. Yes, I 100% live under a rock. I am very much a, introverted loner, and I'll only go out if I'm with my friends, and I kind of stay in my little area, and I paint, and I draw pictures, and I watch movies, and I keep to myself because I don't like humans. I prefer animals to humans. If you want to get me to go outside, ask me to go to the zoo because I will 100% go to the zoo. I will bring my sketchbook, and I will draw. So there's a lot of things that are in, modern times that I don't understand, and most of it is terminology. I have to Google half of the stuff that people say when they're using, modern terminology, like snowflake. A lot of people said that because in my Game of Thrones video, I talked about how much I hate Sansa, which I do. Sansa is a horrible character, and people were calling me a snowflake because I said I hated Sansa. It's like, okay, well, you've obviously never read the books. You obviously don't pay attention to what happens in the show because people argued that, oh, she's a great character. She had this great development. You're a snowflake because you don't like that. I'm like, okay, first off, they stole another character's story in the book. You would know if you read it, but you didn't. And she betrays her family multiple times, and I said that, and people called me a snowflake for that. It's like, did you not watch the first, episode or two of Game of Thrones where she repeatedly betrays her family? She's the reason that Ned died. They make that a lot more clear in the freaking book because she goes and tells Cersei. Yeah, you can argue that that's not completely betraying. Okay, but then let's talk about the time when, Arya, fought with, the butcher's boy, and Joffrey made Sansa lie in front of everyone, and her dad and Arya both said, they gave her the look, don't freaking lie, and guess what? She did. She betrays her family over and over again. You could say, oh, it's because she's manipulated. No, she's a horribly, she's just a horrible, horrible character, and I hate her, and in a show where a lot of people die, I don't think there's a problem with Sansa dying. I don't think there's a problem with me wanting that character to die because I think that out of all the characters, she is the least deserving to be living right now. And Cersei, but Cersei, they actually show Cersei going through stuff. So they make you like Cersei in the last couple seasons, which is I still hate her, but it's it's more easy to watch her than it is to watch Sansa. That being said, I know this video isn't about Game of Thrones, but I just wanted to explain why I had to go Google snowflake because I didn't understand what that meant. And so one of the terms that's been going on or that I've seen people talking about is swatting. Immediately, like the person I am, I think about a fly swatter and, a fly flying around you or a mosquito and you have to swat them. That's exactly what I thought. But apparently, that's not what that is. So I had to Google it, and then the guys on High Council had to explain to me what swatting was, and Ethan kind of had to calm me down. He's like, hey, maybe you should save this for a video because you're getting really passionate about this, and it honestly made my blood start boiling, because if you don't know what swatting is, like me, swatting is when somebody somehow finds out your address, they find out where you live, they dial 911, an emergency number, and they send the police to your house saying that you are doing something, you're gonna, set off a bomb, you're gonna stab someone. And one of Ethan's friends got caught, or I don't know if it's his friend per se, but somebody that was in the comics industry, somebody called the 911 on them and said that he murdered his girlfriend and that he was going to kill himself. And so the police showed up, they break down your door, and they hold you at gunpoint. And like Ethan said, that is attempt at murder. Or basically because they're calling them and saying, this person's going to self-harm them and the police are going to shoot you in self-defense. Now, this disgusts me more than anything I have heard in a long time. Just because 911 is there for people that are in actual emergencies. So for someone to take it upon themselves to call 911 on an innocent person just to play a prank on them, what the is wrong with you? 911 is for people that are in emergencies. If you've lived, this miraculous life where you've been fortunate to never have to dial 911, congratulations. I am so happy for you that you have never had something that tragic happen to you. But dialing 911, abusing something that is there to keep people safe, to protect people, using that as your own sick joke to play on someone that you don't like for whatever reason, what the hell is wrong with you? I don't understand. I really don't understand why people get to that mindset. And you know, I said this on the High Council and I will say it again. The type of people that do that are the type of people that are not afraid of consequences, that do not understand why something like that is there, because they haven't had something bad happen to them in their life. There was a situation that happened to me almost 5 years ago. On December 7th at 2:30 p.m., it will be 5 years. There was something that happened to me that if it wasn't for the police, I would not be here. And it took them a long time to respond to what happened to me. And if they wouldn't have been there, like I said, I would not be here right now. And I am so thankful that there are people that are willing to put their lives in jeopardy to help people. There are first responders for a reason, and it is a very difficult job to find someone that is at the brink of, not coming back. And they are there to help you, and they are there to protect you from the bad people. And for you to use that type of person to go after someone just because you don't like them and you find their IP online and you want to harass them in that type of way, you need some serious help. You need to go speak to a psychiatrist. You need to reevaluate your life, and you need to be taught what that type of privilege is to have in your life, because it is a privilege to have people that are willing to put their lives on the line to protect people, to save people. There are people out there that are in life and death situations that need help, and you think it is appropriate to use that service, to use those good people to play a prank on someone. Well, you need to seriously I don't know how to say this and be nice about it, so if I continue, it's just not going to be pretty, so I'm just going to leave it at that. But everyone, have a great rest of your day. I'm sorry that people like this exist. And it makes me think of that story, the boy who called wolf, and for someone that's going to play a prank like this on someone, and that's exactly what it is to them, it's just a prank. They don't understand how serious this type of stuff is. It's one thing, for a child, a young child that prank calls 911 and then they learned their lesson. Because one of my sisters did that. She was, 5. And her friends they found out what prank calling was, and they decided to do that. And the police have ways to trace the number and go back and find out what it was. And my sister learned her lesson. She had to talk with a police officer, and she learned never to do that again. And my sister has never done that again, because you learn that as a child. So for full grown adults to do this to people, again, it makes me think about the boy who called wolf. If you are going to do that kind of stuff, then when you are in danger, I'm not the type of person that says I think everyone deserves help in those type of situations, because I have been in that type of situation where I didn't think I was going to get the help that I needed, and if it wasn't for the police, I would not be here. So I don't want anyone to feel that. I don't want anyone to go through that, because that is the worst feeling in the world, and it has scarred me for life. I am never going to be the same person that I was before that. So I hope no one goes through that. As even people that do this to other people, nobody deserves to be in that situation. But you can only call wolf so many times before you've, reap the consequences of your actions. So think about that before you ever try to do something like that again and try to hurt people and take away people that actually have serious jobs where they are out there defending people, protecting us. You're taking people away from that. So really think about that before you go and decide to play a prank on someone. Because a whoopee cushion is a prank. Heck, spitting spitballs is a prank. Calling the police and sending them to someone's house under false accusations, that is not a prank. That is a serious offense. And you need to learn your lesson and speak to a doctor. And if anything, do some time in a place where there's going to be professionals that can sit there and work with you and come to terms why you think that that is an appropriate action, because it's not. That's something that needs help. So everyone, have a great rest of your day. May the force be with you, because we are really, really, really going to need it. Bye. Hey everyone, after being asked for months now, I finally got a P.O. box, so if you want to send me some mail, go ahead and send it to Anna, that Star Wars girl, or TSWG for short, at P.O. Box number 28171, Santa Ana, California, 927998171. Thank you. Have a great day, guys.